Are we live? All right, what up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Guys, I just got off of a flight from the States this morning, and I missed you so much. I missed you guys so much that I said, you know what? I'm getting right back to it, and I'm streaming today. So, before we start, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you ring that notification bell. We have quite the show for you. So, today I was inspired. And as you guys know, many times I get my inspiration from scrolling through Twitter. Now, there was a young woman that was going viral. Very, very viral. And she was going viral for her conversion story. And it's a tale as old as time. Women get to about 30 and decide it's time to find God. We saw it with Michaela Peterson. She found God at 30. I saw it with Sierra. She found God at many women have no history of a religious conviction in any way and just suddenly find God. Now, the first question for Pearl is, can people change? Is it possible that people can change? And my answer is yes. I do believe that there are genuine conversions in people that change their life. But the older that I get, the more I notice that most people have a core character that pretty much stays the same. There are people that have consequences, I should say, and maybe settle down when they're older. They realize the consequences of their actions. But I would say for the most part, I would say out of every 10 people that try to make a very big core character change, maybe there's one or two that make it. But this does not stop the S-I-M-P, S-I-M-P-I-N-G, all the simping that I see on Twitter. This madness. Okay, wait, let me check the chat, because before I forget to say, guys, we are demonetized. YouTube has been gaslighting me, and they told me I would hear back within 30 days. And as of now, I have not heard back from these people. So make sure you send a Venmo to just_PearlyThings and a Cash App to PearlyThings. It's just like it's spelled in my ad. So just PearlyThings. Okay. Now, someone says I should drop that #1 track, Stop Simping. Should I do it? Okay. So we're going to analyze, I want as a group, all together, we're going to decide, is this conversion genuine? Is this conversion genuine? So I'm going to show you guys the video of her converting, but first I'm going to show you her on whatever podcast a couple of months ago. By the way, if this young woman wants to call in, I tweeted, we sent her, I don't have an Instagram right now because mine's banned. But, I think our team reached out to her, so she's welcome. Message me on Twitter, Chica, if you want to, I'll send you the link. I won't talk about anyone without being able to say it to their face, Okay, why? Okay. Months ago. By the way,
because I'm so not.
If this young woman wants to call in. Oh, wait. I tweeted, my bad. I had the chat up. Okay.
Are you single? Do you have a friends with benefits? Are you in the talking stage? Do you have a situationship, relationship, fiance, marriage? Go ahead.
So I'm actually super single right now. I've been single for like 10 months. Very, very happy with my current life situation. And I'm really not looking for anybody. So.
Okay.
If I do find someone, it has to be a regular person. Cannot be anyone famous. I don't give a about status. Has to be regular. Regular
person.
Because I'm so not normal. I need someone to equalize me. If they're crazy and I'm crazy, it just doesn't work. So, yeah.
How are you crazy?
I'm dominant.
You're dominant?
Yes.
Like you want to what?
I'm daddy.
You're daddy.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, wait. Show the tattoo to the camera right here.
It just says daddy.
Now, I'd like to point out.
That hurt?
No, it was actually on my Halloween party.
I'd like to point out that I was recently on a show with Michael Knowles, and he said to just find a good girl in church. So, fellas, fellas, right here. Okay.
And I was streaming on my Halloween party night, and they gifted so many subs. I was like, you know what? I had a tattoo artist in my house. I was like, do you have your stuff with you? So I got tattooed in my game room during a Halloween party, and then just went back downstairs and partied.
Okay, so your daddy.
I'm daddy. I girls with strap-ons. This is what makes me more dominant. I would a guy, but they're too scared.
Wait, Eric, can you
Yes,
boost,
yes, yes,
boost
yes,
the
yes.
audio a little bit? Put it to an ID. I don't know. It sounds a bit low. And do you date men or women?
Oh, men.
Both?
I'm so attracted to men. Like, I need, but like when I'm drunk, like women, obviously. But I
Okay.
feel like that's every woman's answer, correct?
Is it?
Like when you're
Why did she say obviously? But no. It's like,
Oh, okay.
No,
Maybe
no.
it's just me then. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
I
I
relate.
speak for
Okay. I
myself.
relate.
When I get drunk, it's like,
Okay. So you said you're crazy.
okay, and more of like a controlled crazy. So I feel very fiery and spicy, and I really just want to live my life and be very, very happy. But I'll do whatever the I want. And it's really hard for me to take advice from people that I don't respect, and I don't respect a lot of people. So
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to put where do you fall in terms of craziness?
crazy. Oh my goodness. Like I said, it's more of a controlled crazy. So I feel like I'm probably a 7, 8.
On the 1
Definitely
to 10
not
scale?
uncapped yet.
Okay. And you said you need a normal person to balance out your
Yes, I need a reg.
a regular.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean that you don't date, for example, other content creators, other
No,
people?
I did once, and it really ended very badly because of the content we.
I was gonna say that if she says she dates regulars, that means at one point she has not dated a regular. Because how would you know? Isn't that the default? Isn't that the default, regular people?
Were creating and how it interfered in our relationship personally and sexually. And I could pull out a camera any time and film, and it doesn't like affect my relationship status with you or anything. Like, I don't feel like it's interrupting.
Don't worry about Nobunaga. I think he's talking about Kiki. Don't worry about him.
Oh, it's okay. I've been called psycho.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not, but
Okay. So
7, 8, yes.
okay. Have you been diagnosed with?
No, and
Like
I really don't
BPD
think
or-
I should go to the doctor to be like
Yeah, you're probably
told
fine.
I'm something
Yeah, you're
and then
probably
be
fine.
put on what exactly? Like, there's no point in ruining my perfect body.
Fair point. And you said you're dominant.
I'm very
That's
dominant.
one of the ways in which you're not normal, I guess, or that you say you're not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say you're dominant, do you mean what are we talking here?
She's alpha.
I am.
Alpha female.
She's an alpha female.
I feel like my masculine energy is higher than most men's masculine energy, and I'm so like competitive. So if I have a partner who's even an alpha male, I'm competing against you in every way. Like, I need to make more money than you. And I need to learn more than you. I need to travel more. It's like, I can't just be a team sometimes. I need to be like the best.
Sure.
Can I
And-
ask a question?
Please, I love this.
To you, what is masculine?
Wow, that's a really good question. Protection is something I hold very highly, like security. A lot of men don't ever make me feel secure. In fact, they make me feel like I can't trust them. If I can't trust you, where are we going?
All right, that's a red flag. Nobody can make you feel anything. Nobody, you're in control of your emotions. Okay. I don't.
And I need to know that you would literally beat the living shit out of someone for me if I needed you.
King, I have a question. By the way, today King is here. Say hi, King.
Hi.
What do you think about this so far? Like, what do you think about this interaction? Do you think this screams reformed, like Christian? You think?
Wait, I don't understand. Is she already reformed at
No,
this point?
not yet.
Oh.
But what do you think she could come back from this at this point?
No. Lost cause.
Okay.
Not that I'm just going to ask on a regular day, but, if I needed you to, be my Clyde.
Okay. So, I mean, despite the fact that you consider yourself fairly dominant, you need someone who supersedes you in their dominance. You
Absolutely.
wouldn't, even though you consider yourself perhaps leaning a bit more dominant or masculine, you don't want a feminine guy.
I can't date a female, and no, I don't want a more
Sure.
feminine guy.
Okay.
It's like, okay, that's cute, but like if you start crying in front of me, I'm just gonna like laugh. I really will. Like that's like really weird for me.
Okay, so you need have you thought about dating an MMA fighter maybe, or
No, listen, because I'd wrestle them all the time.
you wrestle them?
I would fucking grapple all day long. Like I would wear them out. Like again,
Talking like
I'm
jujitsu
competitive.
or?
Oh, anything. Like jujitsu's not on the ground really most of the time, I don't feel like, or more like karate, but like anything. Like even in bed, I would literally you until you were doubting your sexuality. Like I feel like my ex literally went gay because of it.
I think she just needs somebody to match her energy. Like you're just looking for.
Yeah,
a
but
match.
then when they match my energy,
No, I don't. I think you need someone calm and mellow.
see, exactly. I feel like I've learned
Yeah,
this about myself, and until I find someone that I respect enough to be in my life, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna be me.
But
Okay.
will they be down for all that? I
See,
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Would who be?
like somebody
a reg.
who's more calm and balanced
I
out.
feel like it would
don't-
scare them away.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think it is
Yeah.
very scary because
Maybe
like,
they don't want to deal with it.
that's what I'm saying. And you know what? This
Who
actually
wants
just
to?
happened. I had this guy that I was seeing, just not even seeing. It was like we started talking for like 3 weeks. He hit me up at like 3 a.m. when I was in Miami, and he was like, "Hey, I just Googled you and saw that you did. I don't want this." That was a regular person, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I tried. You know, I tried. I also tried someone who did what I did, and I turned them basically. So like
You turned a guy.
I told you it was my ex. Like I fucked him until he became something. I swear to God.
When you say you effed him, like you mentioned before, were you him or more
No,
like?
he wouldn't let me.
Is
But
this like a death by snoo snoo? Do you know that Futurama reference?
oh, you do?
Basically, just these like Amazon giant, like muscular women, just like would crush the pelvis. It's
Okay. Well, listen. I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Okay.
I just f- you and you. I'm sorry. Lay you and lay you until you know, like you're like, oh my God, I have no more inside my body anymore. The f- is wrong with this lady? Like you'll never want to cheat on.
Okay, so she's getting pretty graphic here. I mean, this is a lot of detail, guys. I mean, she didn't have to go into this much detail. She's going in these shows and saying, yes, yes, I am choosing to talk about this stuff. I'm gonna keep it going a little longer because I think she's gonna admit to one more thing.
You'll be drained. Like there's nothing left in you to cheat. But I will cheat because I'm bored.
wait. So wait.
Wow, that just got deep.
What about you?
Oh my God. So this actually, okay. So I was on another podcast and this clip went viral of me saying that I love cheating. It's actually my biggest fantasy. So,
Your
yeah.
whole, I can't even keep up. Okay.
I know.
Your
Listen,
biggest
I told you I was a
fantasy-
f***ing 7. If you want to rate that higher, you go right ahead.
Wait, your biggest fantasy is
Cheating. Not
you
even my
cheating.
biggest. It's like one of my fantasies. I'm a little up. So,
Well,
listen. Yes.
explain the
Why not
cheating thing.
polyamory?
Explain that word.
Polygamy?
Wait, so
Can
so,
I buy a vowel? Okay, so listen, cheating, it's not that f***ing difficult. You're with someone or they're with someone. I don't even have to be with someone, but if you're with someone and you have a girl, I'm gonna sit on your f***ing and be like, isn't my tighter? Isn't it better? Isn't that just hot?
Oh, you want the competition.
I'm a competition in myself. Like I just have to, it's not even that I have to win.
wait, you
it's
want?
like
Hold on. You want to cheat on the guy, or you want the guy to cheat on you?
either. It's so
She
hot
wants a
either
girl
way.
in the
like,
picture so he can say who he prefers.
Not
'cause
even. I've been in relationships and I'm like cheating with someone else and I'm like, this is so hot.
Oh, so wait, is this like a queen thing?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, so queen is the opposite of, well, the female version of a gold, where you derive pleasure from by being
Seeing your partner.
to like basically being cheated on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait, here's a scenario, and I mean, this is a bit haram, but here's a scenario I heard once that from a cuck queen. She wanted to be placed on the bed, laying like her back on the bed, have another girl placed on top of her, and then have her boyfriend, the other girl,
Oh, I've done that at my Halloween party actually.
so that you
It was
could
the girlfriend
feel.
on bottom and the boyfriend was me in style while I was on her. Yeah.
Okay, so the girl was getting queened.
Is that what it is?
Maybe this was just a I don't know.
It could be, but they were together and I wasn't with even.
Wow. Okay, so.
Have you been with a very
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. So, all right, what do we have in this clip? She admitted, I think, to a threesome in there. She admitted to loving to cheat, loving to make other men cheat on their girlfriends or tempt them, whatever. Also admitted to being crazy. And this girl makes $300,000 a month on OnlyFans. Now, mind you, did she donate this money to charity when she quit? Did she pay it back? Did she pay back her customers? I don't know. So, on Twitter, I got a lot of flack. Because Pearl's
You know, I was also homeschooled.
because Pearl's the bad guy. Because I said that this is not believable to me. Pearl's the evil one. Pearl's the bad guy. Because I said that was 9 months ago. And now she's back on Twitter. Okay, can we pull up this video? And this video's going viral. She's still got this bright fake red hair, caked on makeup, fake eyelashes, which if we know the history of fake eyelashes, what does that symbolize? What's that for? They had it for hookers to keep the stuff out of their eyes when they were, doing the deed. So, she's got her ring light on, camera on. Okay, and this is what she posted. You tell me, I'm just the detective here. You guys tell me if this is believable. I don't know. I mean...
Good morning, everybody. Okay, so really quick, I have a couple things to address, and I just need you to listen to me. So, I've had quite a few people reach out to me, comment, just truly curious about what and why I changed. So listen, I was a pastor's kid for almost all my life. I grew up in church. I was always in church. I was also homeschooled. So my life truly felt like...
And I wanted to point out one thing. This is a chick, because remember, they all say, go find you a homeschooled virgin. Still, this is a pastor's daughter. Still ends up on OnlyFans. It's like, okay.
a cage. And I'm not saying Christianity is a cage. I'm saying religion was the cage. I was a Baptist, I was a Baptist pastor's child for the longest time, right? Me and my family did not have a good relationship, and I'm the middle of 5 children. So I'm talking about my other brothers and sisters and my parents. It just truly felt like such a cage. I was a very rebellious child, like sneaking out when I was like 16 years old. I was just going the wrong way, right? So about 4 years ago, I started my OnlyFans because I think truly it was out of pure rebellion. And like, honestly, I'm such a like independent person that I never felt the need for a man to provide for me, like have a man in my life to provide for me.
Now notice, it was out of rebellion. It was not, wait for it, because she wanted to. What? I mean, who knows? Now, and I'd also like to do some math. So she says she was making $300K a month. So, I can't add, so I need my calculator here. 300K times 12 times 4. So now she's worth, if she's being honest about those numbers, almost $15 million. How convenient. That's really convenient time to quit.
So I started OnlyFans about 4 years ago, and I climbed to top 0.01%. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that the devil can truly give you things in this life. He has a budget, though. He can only go so far. So a couple million, okay, great. The devil can do that sometime.
That's a big budget. There's a lot of OnlyFans chicks that did it for $150 a month, but now it's the devil's fault. It is the devil's fault, not my fault, not me, but now the devil.
Right? But I truly have gifts and talents. I just did not use them in the right way. And I'm reaching out to anyone who's like questioning what they should do in their life. And I turned to corn. It's what we're going to call it, okay? So this is just me sharing my personal experience with you. So I reached out and did corn for 4 years. And I showed myself all over the internet. I said crazy things on podcasts. If you don't know the I Love Cheating podcast. And so I met this person who's now my partner, and he truly showed me God's love. He was sending me Bible verses, praying over me, and we were just friends. So like the Holy Spirit was truly working and moving, but I was in such a rebellion against it because I was like, God doesn't love me. I've had to work this hard for this many years because no one cared about me. My family didn't care about me. Christianity is a cage. It's not Christianity, it's religion. Religion is the cage. And unfortunately, I didn't have like good role models growing up. My parents.
You couldn't find one role. You were a pastor's kid. You couldn't find one in a church? Really? Not one. 0 options. Okay, you're right. It's the role model's fault. But it's so funny because I know women that had 0 role models and didn't do OF. So where does it go back to? I want it. I wanted to. Okay.
My siblings, I didn't have good friends. I truly fell into darkness. And I was, like I said, I was top 0.01% creator. Like that is crazy. That is a crazy milestone to reach in that industry. So I made what I made, I did what I did, but I want to share with you guys the truth of it all, because I am now giving it all up for Christ. I am now truly a believer. I would never take it back. God radically saved me from this darkness. And let me tell you again, the devil has a budget, but God does not. God literally made you. He made this world. He made the heavens. Like, what makes you think that God can't bless you with anything? But the devil will give you these things that trip you up and money in front of your face and these worldly friends, your family that isn't there for you, but don't be discouraged because God has a better plan for your life. And let me tell you, I have felt and
So now she's going to make money off of preacher content. Why can't people silently change? Why must it be a spectacle, a show? Is it just me? I mean, can't we give her like 6 months before we celebrate? Like, wouldn't that be a minimum? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Okay. Because now I'll tell you where this comes from, this idea. So when I was a kid, I had a cousin. And this cousin I loved dearly. I loved him. He was, I grew up with him. Unfortunately, he was addicted to drugs. Okay. That was something he struggled with. The same way this woman is addicted to attention, because women on OnlyFans, while money is a factor, in my opinion, the attention is the bigger reason that they do it. Okay. I saw my cousin quit drugs so many times. He would go a year and then fall back. He would go 2. So I've seen how hard it is to actually change behavior. But this woman deleted her OnlyFans. They're saying she didn't even delete it yet. Well, why are we celebrating?
started living that plan. And since then, the money, the fame, the Gucci, Louis, whatever bags, the shoes, the clothing,
Did you pay back the money? Sorry. I'm sorry. Did you pay it back? Pay back your subscribers. I'm going to give her a to-do list where I'll maybe believe it. Number 1, take all this off. Take it off. Number two, get off of social media for 3 years. And return all of the money. Return all the money you made.
Huge trips that I've taken doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell? And my soul, I'm sorry, but it's not worth going to hell for at all. And God loves you so much that he's willing to give you everlasting life. You need to understand that your life is very temporary here on earth, and we all have a mission, and that's to preach the word of God. Okay, I love you guys. I just wanted to clear that up and share a little bit of my testimony, but there you have it. Please be nice in the comments, because just remember, you are not here to judge others. God is here to judge, not you. So please, please be nice, be kind, be loving, bear the fruits of the Spirit. I love you guys. I love you so much, and God bless.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not kind or loving. So I'm going to start. So Pearl's the bad guy because Pearl says, I go on Twitter and I'm going to pull this up, but don't show it yet. I say, you guys are idiots. You guys are idiots. And then Pearl is the meanie bo beanie. The evil woman. Okay, let me find. I pissed off this woman so bad because I said, oh yeah, here we go. You can show the screen now. So I said here, you guys are idiots. Because for all the Christians that were dodging her for not immediately deleting her OnlyFans, well, she did. It's gone. Praise Jesus. Now I said, you guys are idiots. Nima chimed in. I don't know if that's YouTube friendly, so you can just read that. Am I wrong for questioning the sincerity of this? Am I the bad guy? Okay. I recently got my Instagram deleted. But I've deleted. Actually, they delete me. But I've seen how quickly accounts can be taken, gone. It's one button. So let me get this straight. You had the time to put on a bunch of makeup, get your hair done, put up your ring light, get all dolled up, film the 3-minute video talking about deleting your OnlyFans and going to God. But you didn't have time to delete it? And Pearl is the unkind one for asking the question. So I got this essay. Look at how long this essay is. Do you see this? What my issue is with JustPearlyThings. This is my issue. First, she claims to be Catholic. I guess I'm not real. That's what they always come to with me. Pearl's not a real Christian. Pearl's not a real Catholic. She doesn't. Anyways, this is not a Christian response to a potential newcomer to Christ. Forgive me, guys. I'm not dying to have the XOF models in church. I mean, I think they should work for it a little bit. Like, at least delete the OnlyFans link before they come. I mean, am I crazy? Okay. This is not a Christian response to a potential newcomer to Christ. Secondly, even secularly speaking, her message is one of no hope to both men and women. No hope for the men because all women are whores masquerading as I didn't say all, I said most. Get my words right. Or former whores who got played, you get to settle down with them after a lifetime of promiscuity, and they will leave you at the drop of the hat if she meets 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure Chad. I mean, to be honest, guys, I see TikToks of women admitting to this. It's not even me saying it. It's like women, we tell on ourselves, and I'm like, guys, I mean, I could see why the men marriage is they're iffy about it now. And then everyone says Pearl's the bad guy. Okay, then she spurgs out some more. So no man wants you. You're an old whore, cat, something. Okay, here we go. If we're going to actually change the culture, our message has to be one of hope. Okay. I don't believe in selling hope. You know, God can forgive you. You can forgive God. Be forgiven by God. But men don't have to. No, and I don't have to believe you. No, I don't. And it's not immoral for me to not believe you. I mean, and you can claim to be Christian. Then the good news, like, okay, how is it that I'm not a real Christian, but she's giving the OnlyFans chick real Christian status? Like, how does this make sense? How am I not the real Christian? But this chick gets... You win the culture war by having more families, stronger families, more kids raised in 2-parent homes with mom and dad's present, more husbands, more wives, blah, blah, blah. That is the better. Okay, but how do you get there? Do you get there by telling the OF models, hey, OF chicks, you can just not delete your OF and you can be a spokesperson for Christianity. Nobody can say anything to you. And now you can be a preacher. I'm sure that's the way. I'm sure that's the way forward, ladies. Now, another guy, if she was really saved, she'd delete her OF account. Deletes account. If she was really saved, she'd give all the OF money back she made, be perfect immediately, delete her Instagram, do 100 backflips, wait 5 years before sharing her story, and also never use social media again. Thank you for understanding. Thank you. Okay, because if she cared about the change, that would be the first thing she would prioritize. The change before telling everybody about you that you changed. If you've seen real character change, people around you can just tell. They should be able to see that something changed in you without everybody like having to tell everybody. It should just be a natural thing. I think that's all of them. So, but you know, I'm just asking. So today, what I wanted to do, so people that I sent the link to, oh wait, actually there's one more thing I wanted to show, but not yet. I think Rachel Wilson found out that her link is still up. Wait, hold on, because what is her Twitter? Why is it not coming up? Well, I think her OnlyFans link is still up. So, anyways, so now I want to ask the men. Men, what do you think? You know, I mean, I'm a woman, so sometimes I think with my emotions. I don't know. But people that I gave the link to, feel free to call in. I want your take on, is this change genuine? Yeah, is this change genuine? And is this representative of the modern church? All right, is anyone on yet or no? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can just pull up the panel. It's okay. Guys, like the video while you're waiting. Feel free, hit that like button. Hit that like button. You know, and you wonder why guys are leaving the church, you know. I'm just saying, okay. All right, so welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello.
All right, so I wanted to get you guys' takes. Andrew, you actually were on a panel with her, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I was.
Okay. Do you think this change is genuine?
She came off to me as being, because I've talked to a lot of women on that show now, and she came off as being fairly authentic, surprisingly authentic. She was more of an open book than a lot of them. And I think that she genuinely believed the things that she was telling me. Not everybody is that way, right? You can kind of tell when a person's full of shit or they're not full of shit, but she genuinely seemed to believe the things that she was saying.
So why do you think she goes to Twitter first before making the changes in her life if it's genuine?
Well, there's some big problems here,
It's
right?
like me
The
being a
first
personal
one,
trainer if you're super fat, you know?
so the first one is she goes to what's the church? Hillsong? Is that the place where all
Oh.
these chicks go and get baptized and reformed? So anyway, so that's kind of the first red flag, but this woman's entire identity is invented around social media. That's how women essentially communicate in modernity. And so it actually does not surprise me that the very first thing she does is go to share the news with her followers, right? Christianity and theosis is a process. It takes a long, long time. You're always working towards it. It seems like at least it's a good first step. I understand the skepticism. And you should be skeptical, but at the same time, I mean, isn't this the push that we're trying to move people towards? That's the question.
Yeah, I just don't believe it. I personally, you met her, so you might. It's just, I would just think you would make the changes first. And like the fact that her OnlyFans wasn't deleted for me made it a bit, I would just think you would do that first. But Glenn, what do you think?
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to welcome this whore into the house of the Lord. All right. We sprinkled some holy water on her, and hopefully she didn't burn up. No, it's virtue signaling. Like Andrew was saying, like the first thing that a lot of these women tend to do, or people tend to do, is like they want to, just like with new Christians all like they get really on fire and they want to share their conversion. Evangelism, when it comes to evangelism, the best evangelists tend to be new Christians in the faith, because now they have this realization and they want to share with everybody, all their friends, everybody. They want to share it with, to share them the good news. The problem with her, it's more of an optics thing, right? You were just on OnlyFans like a whole week and a half ago, selling your butthole. And then, today you want to talk about your faith. Kind of a little awkward. You would think there would be some time where she decided to cancel everything. Maybe she make a public statement saying that, hey guys, I'm going off OnlyFans, and I'll make a statement about things later, and take some time to really dive into her faith and work on herself before she comes out. As you mentioned, like 6 months later, maybe 6 months from now, she comes out and she decided like, hey, this is why I quit OnlyFans. This is my, where I'm at with my belief system. But it seems kind of like just kind of like shifting into the next grift.
I just thought, I'm like, we can't give her 6 months to prove it, like a minimum. 6 months.
You would think.
A month? 2 months? Like 3?
I think what she did was she read Aaron's book and was like, dang it, I don't make that 5%. Hold on. Let me switch it up a little bit. I heard about, Mary Magdalene. Maybe I could become the new Mary Magdalene of 2024.
Maybe. What do you think, Aaron?
I rarely do I disagree with Andrew. Emphatic, no. I have the complete opposite take. I think she's faking it. It just, I was a preacher's kid at one time, and it just seems so disingenuous. And admittedly, I'm more of a misanthrope and a little bit more cynical. But yeah, I didn't even know who this person was until people started like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, who's this? It's theater to me. I look at her, it's, oh my God, this and that. And oh, she found Jesus. I think this is just the new conduit of attention that she has right now. And I also don't credit her with being all that intelligent. It wasn't a convincing act. I don't think she believes it for half a second. Maybe something bad. That's why I was going to ask, because I don't know her background. Did something bad or tumultuous happen in her life where she had to pivot like this? But yeah, I'd want to see 6 more months and giving up the money and all the different social media. And I mean, she's still running around with the ridiculous dyed hair and the makeup and everything.
Yeah, that's what I said. I kind of.
She has to make Christian look sexy, though.
Well,
okay, she has to make Christians look sexy.
No, I just needed something. I'm like, could I get any real change? Like, could I, like, because there's I'm confused if the OnlyFans link is down or up because I saw Rachel's tweet that said it was up, but then other people were saying it was deleted. So I was a little confused because I keep seeing both.
Well, I mean, what is the process supposed to be for reform if if we can't offer some kind of grace to women who want to reform? What are you supposed to do with them, Aaron? I mean, don't you? Isn't this like the first step that you would want to see? Now, I understand skepticism for converts, right? But I mean, she's not Jeffrey Dahmer converting in prison, right? That's not what's going on here. You know what I mean? So
Rachel's such a gem. She just sent me the OnlyFans link.
So it's like why the skepticism immediately? Like, shouldn't we take a step back and give her the benefit of the doubt first?
No, I agree. And, forgiveness and prodigal son and everything. And yes, this would be the actions you would take. And how would she know? It's assuming she is as dumb as she puts on. She would lack the optics of the knowledge of like, oh, how does this look? Yes, the first step would be to renounce. Second step, baptize. And financially, like, well, this is, not to mention in terms of agency and purpose, what else is she going to do? This is her gig, her job, her career. So it's not like tomorrow I expect to see her in a Mennonite drabby kind of dress walking in a field of wheat with the sun setting behind her. So that you are right. There would be a process. It isn't going to happen overnight. It is my jaded cynicism. It is being like, no, this isn't. It just isn't good. So I
understand. Like, it happens so often. If this pivot happens so often, I understand the mass skepticism. Skeptical myself, but I think ultimately, what else can we do? What else can you do except try to offer some grace and hope that the reform is authentic?
Can we share the screen really
quick?
We
just judge the fruit, just wait and judge the fruit and see how her behavior is. So she says she converted, she accepted Christ, she's walking away from this lifestyle. Okay, well, that's great news. Now we'll just sit back and watch the fruit of it to see if there's any truth there. We don't, as Christians, we're not supposed to judge the person, we're supposed to judge the fruit, right? So let's see. Well, that's
well, I mean, I judge
different fruit right there. That
I don't know, bro. I judge.
Else.
Turn it down. Do you see
I don't know, bro. I judge people from time to time. I'm not gonna lie.
I judge Andrew the most. I mean, if I had anybody I judge, it's Andrew.
That's fair.
How dumb would you have to be to know that to take that down, or to not know to take that down? That's kind of what I couldn't care one way or another. Again, I'm not Christian. I don't have a religious interest in what this woman does. But I don't know. To me, it's more of a larger phenomenon of theatrics and how to make money without working a real job. I would almost, if I had to put a bet or a forecast on it, this is just another. This would be one of those 80s televangelist pastors, which is just a money-making operation, but for the modern daytime with a set of tits. I have no hope. I have no faith. But Glenn is right. We'll find out. And yeah, the door, not Christian, but the door should always be open and always should be a path. But yeah, we'll find out in short order here pretty soon.
I have a question.
I wonder if she's gonna change her.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna make a bet with you or anything, Aaron. Okay. I'm not gonna roll the hard six here against you. I feel like that might be a losing bet. I'm just saying, worse people than her have reformed. Much, much worse people than her have reformed. And it's like, if they can, I hold out hope she can too. I did get because I talked to her for hours and hours when we were on whatever. And I talked to her even after the show. And I genuinely got the feeling from her that she did actually believe the thing she said. Not everybody does. You get the feeling off them that they don't, or that they're being disingenuous, or that, any number of different things. If you deal with people all the time, as you guys do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I got the distinct feeling that she at least believed the things that she was saying, no matter how wrong they were.
So, do you
I
guys
mean, it's just going to come down. It's just going to come down to see what she does with it. Now she might decide to start an OnlyFans ministry where, like, she's reading scripture, not naked, but maybe in lingerie, and that's going to be her process. She's going to save them hoes. Hey, somebody has to. Aaron Clary quit saving hoes, so somebody has to preach to him.
I'm curious, do you guys think that church women in general are the same as normal women, worse or better?
I got opinions.
Yeah, I'll take the note here. Like, I'll take the first dive. It does not seem that there's much delineation at this point between most women who go to church and most women who do not. They seem to have. So there was this great meme I just saw. It was like, all these trad girls, they're really tough on illegal immigration. They're tough on Democrats. They're tough on everything except loose women. They seem to be, for some reason, very reserved when it comes to calling out prostitution, OnlyFans work, things like this. And isn't that interesting? And I thought, there's a lot of truth in this meme, which is what makes it so funny. So no, I haven't seen a lot of delineation yet, unfortunately.
Do you, I'm curious, do you think it's better in Orthodox? I haven't spent a lot of time in an Orthodox church. I'm curious.
Orthodox churches are still riddled with feminism. It's not a thing which is exclusive to only Protestantism, though I will say it's much better because the patriarchs crack down on it pretty hard, at least the main patriarchs. But there is no place, as Aaron Clary would say, right? You live and breathe feminism now. It's the very air that you breathe. That is the West. And so there is no escape. That's not what the Orthodox Church is not going to save you from feminism. It's just not going to. So you have to save you from feminism.
I would say
for your male audience members, if they're younger and looking at dating, back in my dating days when I was young and pretty, I would say the religious girls were worse than the secular. Largely nothing necessarily against women who are actually religious, but the percentage of when I saw this when I was in the church, when I was a preacher's kid, people are faking it. 95% of the people in the churches today in the West are faking. They're not really Christians. They just go for ulterior motives, whether it's social, whether it's to find someone else. It really doesn't have much to do with God or Jesus. And in my dating days, what I ran into is women would use the church as mainly a tool to lord control over the men that were interested in dating them. Then you find out they go and cheat. They're as equal, if not probably worse behavior than the secular girls. But where I would say that they're worse than secular girls on average is the secular girls aren't presenting you the false pretense of being religious. The religious girls do. And so you really got to check and make sure the girl is a genuine Christian or a believer in whichever religion it is. But that to me is what made religious women lower in my estimation than secular.
How would men tell the difference between a woman that's genuine and not genuine?
Well,
it's going to be their view on the patriarchy. Like, where are they at with do they defer authority to their husband? Is it one of those, like, I will only submit to him when he is, when I think he's doing what God wants, God wants us to do. It really comes down to that, like submission. Are they a Titus 2 woman? Like, do they look at it like that? Like, or is it like, I allow my husband to lead? Like, when they have that mentality, like, I let him lead. That right there is the immediate red flag.
I've heard that so many times. I've heard that. Oh, that triggered me. I've heard that so many times on the show. You have to let him lead. I'm like, what the?
The easy litmus test is, does she put God before everything else? And the truth is that almost nobody does, but especially women do not. So that's really the litmus test. And you will find that you'll be very, very disappointed when you learn that no, most of them do not. They put themselves and elevate themselves above everything else.
What do you guys see happening to the churches in the next 50 years?
Well, I think Protestantism has become an atheist secular factory. It's literally an atheist factory. And it's because there's so many different denominations which are so incoherent and so stupid that as the populace has become more educated, they literally bow out of it. But you see kind of a trend with the more traditional Christianity, Catholicism, Orthodoxy rising up. So I would fully expect that this will be something akin to a migration, that after secularism has really, I mean, it's already taken a big foothold, but as more people join it from Protestant churches, you'll note that nihilism will increase. People will start looking for answers the other direction. They start moving towards traditionalism on the pendulum, and that's exactly what's happening now.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
Yeah, that's what all the data shows. Yeah,
It's not what I.
I'd also say there's a migration of going online where it's not popular. Most of the institutions in the West are corrupted to some level or another, whether that's the church, the schools, corporate America, whatever. And people who are seeking truth are going to have to find it like they did largely in other things, whether that's the red pill, finance and economics and things like that. And I think you're starting to see, you'll have some no-name church out in Wisconsin, but the pastor's solid in delivering a good sermon, and fine, maybe he's got 500 people in his congregation, but 10,000 subscribers online. And so I think it's also cheaper to spread a religion. Yeah, I mean, my old man's a pastor, retired, and I bought the domain name Podcast Pastor. I'm like, Dad, look here, you could go, you could do just MP3s, good sermons. I don't understand the internet. I'm a boomer, like people from Wisconsin are. And so but I think there's a tremendous opportunity, which is already being capitalized on by individual churches and other forms of religion, where if you really just want the word of Christ, you don't need the singing and the periphery of a physical church. And I'm not against it either, though. But if you really just want to go and get brass tacks, yeah, go online. And I think that is where especially younger people are going to migrate to.
Well, I guess me and Aaron are just going to be disagreeing today.
All right, go at it, guys.
But let me let me give you some pushback. I
give hope and joy, a positive eye. You're going to shoot me down already.
So a little pushback here. I think you're actually incorrect here. I think that the online version of Christianity has become just as perverse as any other form. The real benefit that religion gives you that you can't find in secular circles is community. That's what the church really is its community. And that's the form of reliance which is gone. The nuclear family is gone. The core family unit is gone. Community is completely destroyed. That's the number one thing, the number one complaint when I really break down a person's worldview, especially a young man's worldview, as to what's making them miserable. It's a lack of community. And so I think that these churches, that's the one place left where you can still find a great sense of community. And I think that that's why so many people are moving towards the traditional end.
I've seen like a lot of churches online, like pastors, like, you got like Joel Webbin from Right Response Ministries. He's in Texas. He has a small congregation, and he has a huge reach on social media, YouTube and Twitter. And you got like, Eric Kahn, who's in Salt Lake, also Doug Wilson. All those guys have a smaller church, but they seem to have a pretty big reach on social media. So I see kind of both of it. I see the need for people to go into more physical congregations, but also do see the fact that a lot of people that can't get to those congregations are finding church online.
Yeah, that's true. They're finding access. You can use online as a form of access, but the truth is that the community aspect of Christianity is largely now missing from the conversation. And I really wish that it wasn't, because the community the aspect of it is where we can start helping younger people with things like social skills, things like interacting with society. I mean, I know I've complained about this many times. You talk to a Gen Zer on the phone and they can't even hold a conversation. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. So I think that the community aspect of this is really, really important, and it's often overlooked. So I guess me and Aaron just argue a little bit today, I guess.
No, I guess I would be be really surprised if it went more in person. Not, I think it would be really helpful, the community stuff, but I see my youngest sister, she's 10 years younger than me, and like their entire, like everything's online. Like it's actually crazy how little they interact in person, like with their friends, like every day instead of hanging out, they're like on Discord or.
Is your sister Catholic?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So she's doing most of her faith-based things in the community online. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I mean she's not like a diehard or anything. She's
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean they
Gotcha.
go to church, but it's not super intense. But I don't really see it to be that common amongst their age group to be overly religious, to be honest. I mean, this is just anecdotal, but
Yeah. I mean but it's funny. And then suddenly they're 25 and suddenly they're 30 and they're reevaluating things, right? It's interesting how that works. I do think that you're going to find the trend of moving towards traditional churches drastically increase as the atheist making a church, the Protestant, continues its slow decline in the United States, and it is dying. I mean, there's no doubt about it. All of the trends show this. So, if you have no access to community, we saw what happened during the lockdowns, for instance. I'm not going to use the dreaded word on YouTube, but we saw what happened during the lockdowns, and people absent communities go fucking crazy. They literally go nuts. And there is no community access for people anymore. Where is it? There is no town square. You can't even hardly go to a bar. It used to be, go to a bar, you could at least have a good conversation with somebody.
yeah.
You don't even have that now. So where else can people go for community? I'd like to know.
See, but that's my concern about the veracity of the church itself. If people are going there for fellowship, which would ultimately be an ulterior motive, then you get things. I think it was just in Minneapolis where they actually had a secular church, where it's like, well, why are you even bothering with religion at this point in time? Why don't you just form a social club or join an already existing social club? And that's where I kind of am concerned about religion, where it becomes more of a social club rather than has anything to do with the actual religion. I understand the value of community and fellowship, but the core reason of being there, you saw this a lot. A lot of friends of mine where they use it more for dating, like singles Christian group. Well, God was barely there, if at all. It was more of a means by which to date and court. But I do understand the value of the fellowship. My concern is that you will continue to see a diluting and ultimately complete removal of the original reason God and Christ being in the church.
Well, you're right. So to give you an olive branch back, you're absolutely right. So many people will use a perverse method in order to create more and more secular churches. But the interesting side effect of this is that they continuously fail over and over again. They get mired in scandal, or it turns out it was just a hapless cash grab. And again, you end up with a massive pool of atheists who have now lost their faith because they were part of that type of community. But fellowship is a key and core tenet of Christianity, and the church is only as strong as the people who are holding it up on their backs. And I think that that's really important, and the amount of community activity which can be done, even in the political realm, is incredible. And it would just be nice to see more people moving towards that for access to community, because I just don't believe that there's anything else. I mean, other than like Dungeons and Dragons, right? At a game store, what else is there?
You don't even have that. You don't even have that.
Gone.
No.
The question is, like, are we going to advise young men to go find girls in church? Because let me tell you, my experience is, well, every girl that I found in church, we smashed, and we didn't pray afterwards. So like you're going to find just as many 304s in church as you are going to find outside of church. And that's the reality of it. Like, from pastors' daughters to deacons' daughters to the girl that just got there and she found Jesus, they are all they can behave the same. So just because you find a woman in church doesn't make her there's not enough buffer there. Does that make sense? Like today, at least, especially in the evangelical churches. Now, maybe in like churches like Andrew's, more orthodox, more traditional churches, you might find better, prospects in women because they have better buffers and that sense of community there. But I don't necessarily think that we're going to see that moving forward. As Andrew's saying, like the church is going to be declining. as much as it is. So you're going to see more and more, perverse behavior, and that's going to be acceptable in these mainline, churches.
But remember, there's also a buffer which Catholicism has, which you don't find in Protestant churches, which is confession.
Yeah.
Right? When you have to go and actually confess to all the things that you've done, it really gives you a huge incentive to not do those things, right? And one thing that's been interesting in all the endeavors on whatever podcast is watching these women when they actually open up about the things that they've done, and you just kind of sit there with a stunned look on your face and go, what? Right? What? Are you serious? But what's the incentive to not do them? That might be the first time for many of them they've ever even discussed those things and said them out loud, and saw the look of horror on people's faces when they explained, not that this was stuff I was doing 10 years ago, but this is the current thing that I'm doing. And so, yeah, I think that there's buffers in place which help from the religious standpoint.
Would you think like the act of penance? Because we remove penance in a lot of, most churches today. There's no, you can confess your sins, but there's no action of penance, like Catholics have. Like Catholics have, like, okay, you got to go make right what you did. I don't see, maybe that's part of the thing that's missing in a lot of these churches.
Well, the Protestants don't have anything of the sort for trying to do any type of removal of bad behavior from a spiritual father who will tell you, like, look, you just can't do this anymore. It's not okay. You need to move away from it. And usually they'll do it in a gradual sense. That's why I'm trying to give some grace to this woman, because I'm hoping that gradually over time, she will be able to break this cycle. Is Aaron right? Is the chance really low? Yes, but I'm still hopeful, right? I'm not totally black pilled just yet.
I am.
Are you saying hope is a fact? Are you saying hope is a fact, Andrew?
So, yeah, no, I was like you before I interviewed 1,000 women. I'm like, now, no, I have very little hope. But Rachel came in. You have a great wife. She's amazing. She says that she's offering a free week.
She's what?
Offering a free week on OnlyFans.
No. Are you serious?
Sorry.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm becoming slightly more jaded as we speak.
No, I'm telling you.
How does Aaron walk away with the W before the conversation's even over? How does he?
I wasn't aiming to win. I just wanted to hang out and say hi. I always win by not caring. I just want to talk about observations and being intellectually on. We could all win arguments and never lose an argument as long as we're all intellectually honest with ourselves. So there's no losing.
I've just seen too many chicks come on the show and give sermons like that. And then, like, I had one girl that literally went home with she gave a sermon like that, and then my recruiter brought like one of his friends, or like one of the guys that worked for me brought his friend, and she literally went home with him after the show. And I'm just like,
yeah, but here I know we focus on religion and that as an influence to get good behavior out of people, but you also have to have secular responsibility. Like, what are the quality and caliber of these people? Also, what do you expect young women to do when they're thrown $300,000? Dude, I'll go do an OnlyFans right now for $300,000 for a couple months, and I'll be retired. See me again. But aside from the financial motive, you'll really look at the quality and the caliber that this community, this society is raising, and now you got the opportunity with the internet and online. When it comes to the question, well, how do I find a quality girl? Yes, there should be some consistent behavior. Yes, they should follow the rules, and yes, God should come first. But I would just ask for good, ethical, moral, and consistent behavior. That's what you got to see, and not to
you can't get that without Christianity.
You can't. Yeah, like, there is a secular morality. Like, I don't go and punch little children in the street. I don't steal. And there's other ethical reasons outside of religion that I do that, a lot of which should be compelled by just operating. If you wish to operate in society, you can't do those things. But I'm saying there's also, I know this is a horrible idea, but individual responsibility. And when I look at the holistic entirety of the environment that this girl is in, just this one particular instance, no, I think she's financially motivated. I think she's psychologically motivated. And I think this is another case of abusing Christianity or religion as a stereotypical born again, and maybe a little bit if there's an actual bit of guilt, which would lend to Andrew's argument that there is a little bit of hope here, where she feels guilty. But oh my God, look, Protestant, the Lord forgives, and now I'm not a degenerate piece of shit. There might be a little bit of that, but at least that'd be a movement in the right direction. But I would just say this is a hearing. I was trying to figure out who you were playing there, Pearl, at the beginning. I'm listening to her like, this is a despicable person. This is a piece of filth. This is a bad person that I wouldn't want anything to do. And I don't believe a single word coming out of her mouth.
Well, it's interesting you bring this up because what you're really alluding to is duty. You're talking about duties inside of society as part of the framework of your morality. When you say personal responsibility, what you mean is you have some type of greater duties to people outside of just yourself. Now, this is interesting because that's a Christian ethic, not a secular ethic. And as secularism is taking over the nation, what I have noticed is what incentive does a secularist actually have to be what you would consider a good person? They have entitlements absent duties called rights, right? What is it exactly that incentivizes these women to not do this stuff? And I think that the answer is under secularism, nothing. I think it's nothing. There is zero incentive. So I think that, yeah, I think it's good that you have kind of this ethos inside of your mind, but that framework itself, what I think was informed by a Christian upbringing. So it doesn't surprise me if you have a pastor father that duty was something which was instilled in you.
It was certainly there is that when you're growing up, but I would say even in the secular world, like it's karma. You can't step out of bounds too much before somebody punches you or kills you or something like that. So, you know, the 10 Commandments is not only good for religion, but it's a pretty good starting point for some secular laws as well.
Eric,
that's why I was saying, like, that's why you can't have, like, you say secular morals or morality, but you can't have that outside of, you know, like Christianity. The 10 Commandments has definitely influenced our laws, has influenced the way that we view things. So it's like, in a way, you can't, as Andrew would point out, like, you can't have morality without Christianity or a foundation of Christianity.
I would agree, not morality. I would almost separate the two, laws and morality, because if you go based on human nature, you want to screw everyone over, make as much money as possible, and serve yourself. Morality
and society can work that way. It could. You could have a society which operated that way, and it would function. But it sounds pretty horrible, right? It doesn't sound great.
Aaron, since I have you here, I was curious if you could go through how you got the numbers in A World Without Men for the number of women, because every time I go on a show, they always accuse me of like lying about it.
Well, who's they?
Well,
do you care?
Well, no. It was
Michael Knowles.
yeah, that's what I told him. I was just on Michael Knowles' show. And so
Okay.
I was just curious if you could just go through it for the audience.
Well, wait, I mean, there's a couple of books. There's a lot of economic research. Which data point are you talking about specifically?
I think it was
coming up with the marriageable women.
Yeah, the
How did you come up with the number
5%.
of marriageable women?
5%.
Well, it depends. There were 3 methods used, but the main data came from things like the CDC. I have to go and read. What was it? Marriage statistics, also CDC. Some of the data like tattoos and piercings, that's very hard to come by. And I even admit in the book that it's not the perfect data, but you got to go to war with the army you got. But it is the best data available on there.
No.
But if anyone, I don't know who Michael Knowles is, but regardless, there's one thing, not to toot my own horn. I am not an ideologue. I don't go out and say, I got this ideology and I'm going to go look for the data. You better be awfully careful criticizing me of having questionable data, because I want to know the truth. So I don't have a political motivation. So I go and I find the best data that I possibly can. In a world without men, nearly all that data comes from the Department of Labor, Bureau of Economic Analysis. It's not. I mean, yeah, you want to question that, fine. And then, I mean, I guess the other thing is, what's the better data? If Mike has a better source of data, I'm all for it because I'm more interested in truth than I am promoting a message. What should be of ultimate concern is that somebody who I'd like to think is a professional economist that doesn't have a bias went out and found the data as unbiased as he could, and it paints this particular picture. That is what I'd be more concerned.
Well, and I was
Well, I
like,
did.
and I was
Oh,
thinking,
sorry.
even if you quadrupled it, I'm like, let's just say he has this motive. I don't believe you do, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. That would, even if we quadrupled it, that's still 20%. That's still not the majority of women, and we all know it's not that high.
I think Aaron's numbers are actually very conservative. I think the Bible says there are actually less marriageable women. Proverbs 31 says, a virtuous woman is rare as rubies. So, rubies are rare. And then in Ecclesiastes, Solomon writes about, how he met 10,000 or 1 out of every 10,000 men was righteous, but he didn't meet one righteous woman. So, I mean, just right there using the Bible, it just seems that women are not as variable.
Glenn.
Oh, that's because Solomon said that he spent many seasons between the legs of women, just so you know.
See? He knows. He has experience.
No. Well, I was even no, Glenn, even on the show, it's like it's so weird because it doesn't compute for them. I'm like, Michael, you've been on whatever podcast. You see what's going on. And they're like, and I'm like, okay, well, this data. And then he's like, well, the data's wrong. I'm like, but
is Michael a religious guy?
He's religious.
Is he part of?
He's
okay,
religious.
well, okay. Let me also ask: is he happily married? A lot of these guys, they have a selection bias where Dave Ramsey has a great wife. I got to imagine Walsh, not Jack, John Walsh. Who's Walsh?
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh. I'm happy for him, but I'm sorry, as a statistician, ultimately that's what it is. That I'll stand by my numbers all day over people's desire, no matter how noble and nice it might be.
I have been paying attention to those criticisms, Aaron. I read your book and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Appreciate you sending me that copy, by the way. It's very nice of you. The criticism that Noel specifically or the Daily Wire guys seem to have, because this is referenced often, is they're claiming that it's arbitrary, coming up with things like tattoos and piercings somehow being equated to a woman not being marriageable. They're claiming that this is an arbitrary starting point and that you don't have any reason to make those claims. That seems to be one of the major criticisms.
No, right, and that's one of 3 methodologies I use. And yes, the methodology certainly can be questioned along with the data and the statistics. But I mean, in that particular case, there were other methodologies used. That was just one of 3. The other one was just going through thousands of dating profiles where it's like, good Lord, what is this? But yeah, and by all means, other people could come up with other statistics. But I, not to brag, I'm usually not wrong. I was right on so many other things like housing bubble, .com bubble, Asian currency crisis. None of these things, maybe some of your audience is too young to remember.
You're also correct on the Curse of the High IQ. It was one of the first books I ever read that came out of your camp, and it was fascinating. And since there has been data, which has been promoted by guys like Jordan Peterson all over the world, it seems to affirm what you were saying long before he was.
Yeah, so, well, it's amazing what you do when you go in. Like we got the internet. We have a ton of data, and if you're honest about it, it's amazing what you can predict. And then inevitably other researchers and other people who do the data crunching, it'll verify what you said or disprove it. But so far,
By the way, it's not a curse that I have, but it was still a good book. Okay. It's still a good book.
No. Well, I would love to get you on there. I wish oh my gosh. I just think you would run circles around them. It'd be so entertaining to watch. Oh my gosh. I wish I had that kind of.
I don't know if I'd be an emotional, entertaining guest. It'd be all numbers and data. I'd have to go back home and grab my notes.
That's what it would be, such a good show, because they would start preaching and you would just, but you would be able to go through every
how hope is a fact. They're going to tell you how hope is a fact and how their hope is actually going to trump all the numbers you give them.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah, and that'd be fine if we were betting on the Saints versus the Ravens, for $20. But when you're talking marriage and children and innocent lives and Lord knows how much money involved, becomes a little bit more important. But
Well,
I'm
even
very
if you even if you race horses that are all lame, one of them still has to win.
one still has to win. Right?
One still has to win.
So I'm curious, what are your predictions for the next 5 years?
About what?
About like, I think there's gonna be. I guess when it comes to like marriage and relationships, do you think there's any hope of traditionalism returning?
I got opinions, but I want Andrew to tell me why we're going to disagree first.
I'm not sure we're going to disagree on this. The return to traditional Christianity is an intergenerational project. This is not something which is going to happen in my lifetime. It's definitely not going to happen in your lifetime. So it's just not going to happen anytime soon. It's an intergenerational project. But that doesn't mean that I'm any less hopeful when I look at the beautiful churches, which were intergenerational, which were built as well. Things ebb and flow. We always think that our lifetime is the most important lifetime. And you know what? Our lifetime might be the least important lifetime.
Yeah, I agree. I think that what we're going to see, I mean, if anything, we're going to see more people like get together, but maybe not in the traditional sense. I mean, we can't be traditional. There's no way going back. The pendulum is not going back to tradition. It's going to have to move forward, and it's going to be the new tradition. What is this new tradition going to look like? Is it going to be
I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a shout out from Fresh and Fit in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah. So, well, at least I think that's him. You know what I mean? It looks correct. He said, "See you soon," and also shout out to Pearls. What it says.
Oh, woo! Is it in the Crucible chat? So I was like, I don't see it.
It is. Yep.
Oh, okay. Are you going
that's
on?
him.
Soon?
I just went to the channel. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going on?
Yep.
Soon?
We are. Yep. I will be on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. I don't have the exact date just yet, but
I loved their Candace Owens show. I thought that was so entertaining. Good. And the H3 debate. Oh my gosh, they destroyed.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be covering that tomorrow. During the Trash Talk Extravaganza. I hate Ethan Klein. He's one of the worst scumbags that I've ever seen in my life, and I just can't wait to wreck him. I loathe that guy. I loathe him.
I mean, that was the most embarrassing moment in my career, I think. So
this guy goes on, Pearl, and he says to Myron, he literally plays an audio clip of a woman saying I was not in any way, shape, or form SA'd by this guy, and then still accuses him of doing it. And I mean, it was dumbfounding. I couldn't believe that he would stand by that. And it's like, it's insane to me. I just couldn't believe it. But
I was kind of curious what Glenn's forecast of the future was going to be.
I just think we're going to see we're going to still see people getting married. I think we're going to see more like people not getting married through the state, though. I think that's going to be the big push. I think you're going to see more people get together through a covenant type of bond, whether it's Christian or whatever type of religion they're going to do. I think we're going to see that more. I think the traditional way of religion, or like we used to see marriage being practiced, is not going to be the main thing. I do see people, you're not going to stop getting people getting together. So that's not going to end. But the way that they do it is going to be different. It's not going to be the way that we do it now. The state is probably going to be less involved.
So I'm going to give my prediction only because I think, Aaron, I think you're smarter than me. So I want to put yours last.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So my prediction is that there's just going to be less kids, less families, and less people getting together based on interviewing 1,000 women. That's kind of my conclusion, because young women seem to have no interest in family or relationships. And that's my prediction. That you're going to see more. I think women are going to start to live with each other. So you're going to start to see like roommates and like older women living together. I think you're going to see an explosion of more sex workers, especially if they start taking away government benefits. Anecdotally, I already think sex workers are like 10% of women under 35. I think it's going to be like a quarter. My guess. I also think, and I think maybe like 20% of women will be in relationships like long term. I think, yeah, that's my guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, but
Aaron.
doesn't that almost guarantee a return to traditionalism, or what is considered traditionalism or Christianity? As the genetic dead ends die off, you're going to have to replace the community with, I mean, the United States population will have to be replaced with migration from mostly Catholic nations, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, I wish it worked like that, but it just seems like even when I would have women that had like conservative or traditional parents, I didn't really see a big effect on the kids. I didn't really see them to be that much more conservative, traditional, or living their
Well,
life
didn't it
that
have an
much.
effect on you?
On me?
Yeah.
No, because I didn't get married young, so.
Yeah, I know. But well, I mean, but your values are not to go start an OnlyFans account and start prostituting yourself for money either,
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's true, but for every one of me, I can think of someone in my situation that did the opposite. I just think it's people are people. So I think you're kind of going to get the same thing.
Well, your predictions are already becoming true. I mean, marriage rates are tanking. Yeah, you're right. You're smart, Pearl. You were right. Yeah. But yeah,
You're smarter though. Go off.
The latest
Isn't
book
it the
I
way
had.
that we are? Isn't the way that we're looking at marriage rates, like how we gather them and what we consider marriage, is like how we determine whether it's marriage rates? I'm thinking people are going to be cohabitating more and becoming more like just outside of the church or outside of the institution of, going to the state, getting a license, and that being the norm. That's the norm now. So when I say, not going away from traditionalism, it's going away from those traditional institutions that they have considered this is what marriage is.
Oh, I forgot about my third prediction. Polygamy. Yeah, I forgot about my third one. I think you're going to see more of like women, because right now we have situationships, so that's like kind of sharing men, but it's not open. But I think it's going to become more open, and you're maybe going to see the top men like living with multiple women. You already kind of see it, but I just think it's going to be more common. That's my last one.
What we're witnessing is a lack of interaction and participation between men and women, whether it's traditional or just general dating or whatever else. And the latest book I came up with was called A World Without Men, and it's how men and women interact and the consequences for the economy if we don't get together, have children, et cetera. And everything you guys have forecasted not only is likely to come true, it's already coming true in many regards. But we are, and Andrew probably and Glenn as well back me up on this, we are going to go back to nuclear families. We are going to go back to patriarchy, whether religious or not, but we will also go back to religions because inevitably society will not be able to support itself. And men are absolutely not going to go to war or work unless they have wives and children. Unless they're getting no kitty, no work, no kitty, no GDP. And that was largely the thesis of my latest book, where if you look at what women are capable of producing on their own using the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we are going to be going to Kenyan levels of standards of living, which is about $4,000 per year in GDP. You will not have a functional society. You will not have force of law. You will not have cops. You won't even have electricity, to be perfectly honest. And we will immediately go back to the rule of nature, to the law, natural law.
And you see, Congress is talking about this now. I mean, we were way ahead of our time on birth rates, but now you see them starting to ring the alarm bells. There was just a big production done in Congress where they were going over this and saying exactly the same thing that you are, which is, look, if we don't get a handle on this soon, the gross domestic product of the United States is going to collapse. And also with a societal collapse, we have tons of other problems which come with that, which include population replacement, things like this, which are super problematic for any nation to undergo. We see that all over the West. So basically everything we're seeing in the trends right now supports exactly what you're saying.
So,
I mean, once you get rid of white collar work because there's no electricity or computers or just a fraction of that infrastructure is being maintained, and there is not the budget for law, and there are no cops. I mean, Pittsburgh just cut back. I guess they're not taking 911 calls certain times of the night. Again, you see a lot of this already happening.
Wow.
And when there is no government, when there's no welfare state, women are going to have to be there. It's going to be traditionalism again. You want to survive, you better find yourself a man. That's the only way you're going to survive. And that may sound bad or harsh, but that's the route we're going.
What's your time frame on that? Like when?
It's the United States is unique because we have the world's reserve currency, and you think that with all of our printing off the money that would end, but man, all the other competing countries keep doing worse than we are. I mean, I guess we could, in theory, go for quite some time, especially as long as we got the strongest military. But inevitably, whether it's 10 years or 100 years, it will end. It will end, and all this academic research and hokum and ultimately BS that came out of the social sciences and the liberal arts, and like, it doesn't matter if you have your PhD, you ain't got no food. It's going to all be thrown out the window. We're going to go back to a reset time, and we're just going to go back to human nature. That will be men are in charge, women are going to be in charge of the children. Do what the man says, or you die. At least for a couple hundred years.
Huh.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. I like electricity. I don't want to farm again.
No.
I don't want to.
The do what the man says or die part.
I'm like,
do what the man says or die part, I'm good with.
No, glad.
For some reason, I feel like you just have windmills in your backyard and you'd be all right, Aaron.
I have solar panels. Have no idea. When you come visit South Dakota again,
we'll get together.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll survive Mordor together.
Yeah, hopefully the stuff keeps running, you know. We were just meeting.
No, it won't. It won't. Go. I mean,
can't.
Not to keep promoting my book, but Pearl, you want to go look at some data and then throw.
No, I have. I don't remember I don't know if I read the. I can't remember.
There's two similar books. One's the Book of Numbers. It has a naked woman or a silhouette of a naked woman.
I read the other one.
You read like 3% of the electrical engineers, the electricians, the plumbers, the infrastructure people are women. It isn't. It's not going to happen. We're definitely going to go back.
I just meant like for now, because you know.
I paid. Well, I didn't pay. I went and got a quote for an oil change. It was $100. Wow. You can't even get an oil change done for less than $100 now. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning of the stages.
Wow. Interesting. So you think, sorry, I hate to ask again, 10 years, do you think things will collapse?
No, not in 10 years. Not in 10 years.
Probably like 30 to 40 years, we'll see it collapse.
Wow.
And define collapse, you know, do you mean we don't have electricity? I mean, there's always going to be some guy who wants to get laid and he'll change a woman's oil to do it, or somebody will wire a house. I mean, this isn't going to be like men all go on strike and that's it, and then the next day there's no electricity or sewers.
Our generation likely won't live through what Aaron is talking about, but Gen Z might.
Yeah, it's possible. Very possible.
My dad's building like a whole compound because like he's trying to make our land like self-sufficient with like guns and stuff because he thought something like that might happen. He said after he was dead, but like he's kind of.
So you're saying your dad's awesome?
Yeah, my dad's literally awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that he's building a compound filled to the brim with guns, so he's awesome. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Remember 15 years ago that sounded like crazy talk, and now I tell people like what I'm going to do. I'm not farming. I don't want to farm. That sounds like hard work. I'm going to become the booze king. I'm going to distill booze. I'm going to make my own money. And now everyone's like, that's a pretty smart idea. I'm like, yeah, but you were the one that didn't believe in balanced budgets or anything like that. And so, yeah, if your old man could become a distiller, that'd be like the cherry on the.
Well, he bought a neighborhood, so he like bought this neighborhood, and then and so he gave us like plots of land on it. So then when we get married, everyone gets a plot of land. So in case everything goes like south, we'll just go to our like Davis fort.
Well, you know who had toilet paper during the lockdowns? Preppers. Just saying.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. I thought all of your contributions were valuable. We got 3 smart guys in here. Do you want to tell?
Well, I mean, except for Aaron's. I mean, but I thought me and Glenn were pretty on point.
Get it all.
Aaron-
Go ahead. I'm used to it. Go
Aaron,
ahead.
I fangirl. I just loved your book so much. I love it. I go on the news and I just have it right up there. I'll just read the quotes about what % of jobs we do.
Yeah, no, I remember.
just-
So it said, "Oh, Pearl mentioned you." I'm like, "Oh, Pearl's so sweet."
No, I loved because it was so easy to read. It like it dumbs it down a little bit so anyone can read it. And I was like, that's perfect for me.
Aaron, what time are you coming out to California on Sunday?
Wait, hang on. Are you saying that he needs to make a pop-up book, Pearl? Is that what you're saying?
No.
He needs a pop-up book.
I don't know what a pop-up book is.
You never saw like
God,
the little
really?
kids
Are you
pop-up
kidding?
books, really?
No, I don't know what that is.
So you open the book and like a little cardboard pop-up comes up and shows you the story.
Pearl, I'm sorry you're so young and Gen Z. I'm sorry for
I'm
you.
sorry. I like reads things that are easy for me to understand, and I just thought it was like because you're so smart talking to you, but when you like read it, it's like even a normal person can follow what you're saying.
Yeah, that's writing 101. You can't take advanced concepts and just assume they know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, you should get his book. It's literally awesome. It's called A World
is
Without
good.
Men. Where can they get it?
Oh, Amazon. Yeah, among all the other books. But yeah, just search Aaron Clary, Amazon, World Without Men, and you'll see all the other books I write.
Okay. And then make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel too. They just look up Aaron Clary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Asshole Consulting is that would probably get you closer to my YouTube channel because that's the company I run. But yeah, you'll if you want to search, you'll find me. Kids nowadays, they can do wonders with you. They'll find it.
Okay. Glenn, do you want to tell them where they can find you too?
Yeah, Glenn Lawrence Presents on YouTube, Mr. Glenn Lawrence on Twitter, all the other fun stuff. You guys will find me. Just type in my name. I'll pop up. No, I'm not Pearl's handler. Just clarifying that one more time. I am not the puppet string master behind Pearl. All right, you guys.
Gosh, I've had so many. Yeah, no, he's not my handler. But you can. The Daily Wire said we can clip the stuff. So the part of the debate that you spoke in, you're able to clip.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got an email from them earlier today.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was cool. And Andrew, where can we not find you at?
Oh, you can find me on the one and only The Crucible, fastest growing debate channel, to my knowledge, anywhere on YouTube. And if you'd like to schedule a debate or come on to tangle with some evil progressives, you're more than welcome to do so. It's about the fairest moderation you'll ever see in your life. And we're happy to see you.
Well, thank you guys all for coming.
Thanks, Pearl.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, guys, there you have it. Now, I wanted to add one more thing today. Now, I really love getting their points of view on everything, and I see that I was proven right with my theory that it wasn't genuine. I mean, who knows? Maybe I can be wrong. I could be wrong, but I could also be right. Now, I actually wanted to talk about the history of chivalry. Now, I hear the phrase over and over, we need to go back to chivalry. That chivalry is dead and women killed it, and we need to go back to traditional chivalry. Well, I'm here to burst that bubble for you. Chivalry is not the W that we think it is. It inverts what I would say is the natural order of the world. So, men are serving women instead of women serving men. It's supposed to go God or your purpose if you're not religious, men, women, children, okay? So I wanted to read something that I was sent. I did not write this, but that's about the history of chivalry. So, today we're talking about chivalry. Not the military kind of chivalry, but the romantic kind that specializes in men simping to women. That's the one that sees men going down on one knee to pledge marriage service to women. It's the chivalry that sees men opening doors and pulling out chairs for women in restaurants as if to treat them like royalty or a goddess. The problem is that women are not royalty or goddesses. Chivalry has been around for about 1,000 years. It was invented by a French guy named William of Aquitaine. William started the first mass simping movement amid to please the women he associated with, and women quickly joined in with the game of expecting to be placed on pedestals and to be treated like princesses. We could say that it became a joint effort of medieval simps and narcissistic women that evolved into the marriage and dating scene we see today. These behaviors originally took place between knights and their overlords, a recognition of all male hierarchy demonstrated in the medieval commendation ceremonies where a vassal would go down on one knee, slip a ring on his lord's finger, kiss him on the cheek, and pledge loyalty service. But with the invention of romantic chivalry, these masculine, feudal rituals somehow got repurposed to the sexual arena where women expected to be treated like the new overlords. The rise of romantic chivalry was so successful that the men of Middle Ages started literally referring to women as my lord. Many people were arguing that we are still treating women that way today. C.S. Lewis called this medieval revolution feudalization of love. He observed that Western society had moved essentially from social feudalism, involving a contract arrangement between feudal lord and his vassal, a sexual feudalism involving a comparable contract between men and women. So here we are today, shaking our heads at the crazy male simping and increasing female narcissism everywhere, wondering what we can do to reverse the decay in human relationships. At this point, there are no easy fixes, but I do wonder what the world would look like if we removed romantic chivalry from the picture. So we say return to traditionalism. My question is, what traditionalism? Because I don't think chivalry is it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you like the video on your way out, subscribe, and let me know what you want to cover next time on another episode of Pearl Daily.